Alright, hello and welcome back to Elite Aspect F1 Gold League Season 1. This is round 10. Technically, I think we're calling it 9.5, but I'm going to call it 10 because it should be the 10th rate of the season. I think we just had a weird issue with one of the races. So yeah, round 10 here at Austria. Rain qualifying, but this is a sprint race. So one qualifying session out there today, and then we will get into a 12-lap sprint race with a 36-lap full race weekend for us. It is raining here and qualifying, pouring down pretty good, but all these drivers are on the intermediates. VDV, Ali with the 1:14.305 in the rain. That's pretty impressive actually around here. Very short lap, 4.31 kilometers. I believe that's 2.78 miles, 2.67 miles, one or the other. I do apologize for not having that in front of me, but we'll be doing 36 laps in the real race, only 12 laps in the sprint. First race here in 1970, been on the calendar for almost every race since then. We were having a few issues in qualifying as far as the lobby, people getting situated, so we may have some people joining here in just a minute, but we've got 13 racers right now, and so if I stop talking for just a little bit, I do apologize as we're trying to work some stuff out in the lobby. But CPI 0 in that Alpine just went fastest with a 1:13.829. There is going to be a line drying out there during qualifying. These guys have a couple sets of intermediates, and they don't wear that fast, so I expect those times to drop as we get a little bit drier line working as far as qualifying is going too. But that puts two Alpines now first and third, with Kratos taking the Red Bull and going up in a second. Just 1 second, I'm going to see you respond to somebody and see if I can help them out. Alright, so in the Ferrari, now Michael 5677 with a 1:13.136, and we're still running on board with VDB Ali. These guys actually can do multiple laps on these tires to set times. And VDB Dykes. He's told me before, but now I've forgotten. He did a 1:14.126. That puts him third. VDB did not improve on that one. I don't even have the telemetry up, so we can't see what they're rolling with here. Yeah, just trying to see who's got ERS and what they're moving, as Michael in that Ferrari again does a 1:12.804 with the fastest time on the board. We still have a couple drivers in the pits that haven't put times in yet. We did have another driver join, it looks like, so that's very interesting. It might have been MDJ who joined a little bit late. We were having some issues with the young light, something wrong with his car, I do believe. So we'll see if he needs some a little bit of assistance. If he does leave the lobby, please nobody be discouraged. Somebody else will take over as the host, which I guess we'll have to work out, and then we'll send him invites, see if we can get something happening with his. He's just having a little bit of issues getting out of the garage, it seems like. So yeah, still going through. Michael with the fastest time. Looks like he's coming in. I believe VDV just purpled the second sector, so we'll ride on board with him as he is rounding, coming into the final two turns, 9 and 10. Only 10 turns on this circuit. Very fast laps, of course. Turns through turn down to turn 1 on the pitch straight is a DRS zone. Between 1 and 3 is a DRS zone. Up the hill and then down the hill to turn 4 is also a DRS zone. And of course, VDV with the fastest time out there now with a 1:12.498. So everybody's going to have to go in, maybe put on a set of fresh intermediates and try to come out again and see if they can put in some better times. Just because this track is going to evolve pretty quickly with the rain and us making a dry line out there. And yeah, we're only doing an 18-minute qualifying, so about halfway through Q1 here. There's only one qualifying session, of course, because we will be doing a sprint race. Wherever they finish in the sprint race is where they'll start the main race. So it could be very, very interesting, as we only have 14 drivers here. Everybody's going to be scrapping for a handful of points there, even if they start at the back. So, yep. 1 second. I'm going to reply to somebody. We are on board with Diask as well, who just went down to 6th place now, as VDB and CPI 0 put in some times there. We are on board with Diask, who is rounding. He's coming into the pits, so that'll do that for his. Everybody put on some fresh tires and get out there again. Waiting for MDJ to come out of the pits, and we're also trying to work on someone else's issues as well, so do apologize for that stuff. All right, VDB Dayx in the Mercedes has gone fastest now with a 1:12.282. And we still have MDJ and Young Lights in the pits, of course, but these times are getting a little bit, as we see Jeff there do this little pirouette in the rain. That's not embarrassing at all because we're in the rain. Looks like Sten here is pushing pretty hard in the McLaren, trying to warm up his tires before he gets ready to do another fast lap. Used a lot of ERS though. That doesn't make much sense since he's coming into the pits. Yeah, I think this is kind of the time where people will be coming into the pits. We do have Michael, who is going back out there for another fast lap. He's got plenty of ERS to burn. Of course, there is no DRS right now, but once the session turns dry in one of the races, we will see how these guys get along. Obviously, these 3 DRS zones make it pretty cool. A lot of overtaking into turn 3 and again into turn 4. Michael does cross the line. That track is definitely evolving. He just did a sub 111, a 110.984. So all these drivers into the pits, some of them coming out of the pits now. We will be keeping an eye on them, what they can do. Let's keep an eye on VDB in that Mercedes right now. It looks like he had plenty of ERS to burn as he's coming across, but he might be going into the pits as he is sticking to the inside. Plenty of time to get in, refuel if you need to, and put on a fresh set of tires if they have one. Oh, and a little bit of an issue there, but didn't lose much, it looks like, coming into the pits. I would have definitely taken a wing off of my car. Maybe there's no damage out there right now. I don't know. Alright, so we got a lot of drivers on outlaps. We've got CompuWare. Looks like he's about to cross the line here. In that Williams, see what he can do with that. Of course, these drivers have different setups. Probably going with dry setups around this track, so it could be some of the issues that we're seeing. But CompuWare with a 111.528, yeah, that track is definitely evolving. Still waiting on MDJ in the Haas. He is putting in a time right now. We've seen him pretty quick. He's won a couple races already this season. It looks like he's pushing. Did he purple that second sector? I couldn't quite tell as Michael just went fastest again, beating his last time. We're now 110.465. We'll see what MDJ has out there. A couple of drivers are coming, so with some pretty good practice laps. This does look like a pretty good time so far, using as much of the track as possible and not exceeding track limits, but it'll definitely be a 111 something. 111.385. Yep, goes to second. So that's very well done by him, especially his first lap. He can actually turn his battery off, recharge, and probably go again if he's got no fuel in that car. But yeah, outlaps and stuff like that, VDV, he'll be putting in a lap here in just a second. I think CPI 0 might be on a lap at the moment. He is just coming through the turn 6, 7, and 8 part of the track at the moment. But I'll leave this as a question in the comments. Has anybody ever used their controller and one of the buttons not work? And how did you fix it if you did? And it was just one button. I've seen before where you get into the game and then the controller doesn't work. That was my son's controller because he keeps dropping them, so I think he broke 2 of them that way. That is CPI 0, who does improve to a 110.736. Michael is rocket fast around this track with the times he's putting in. Where is he doing a lap? He is. We'll stick with him. Actually, let's go a little bit further back, see if anybody can improve. That was Diask, I believe, who just crossed the line and put himself 3rd, so great lap from him as well. Dico out there, he's on a lap. Let's look at him as we're going to watch these drivers. This will probably be his last run unless he can probably get around again. He definitely could if he's got enough fuel on the car, but we'll see how this Williams handles these final turns. I believe that was the Bomber 990 who just went 3rd. So the 2 Aston Martins doing pretty well at the moment, sitting 3rd and 4th. That was Dico 24 who just put himself 7th, so he did improve. That's VDV now all the way back to 9th, as we've still got Jeff and Tyronimo out there. Tyronimo looks like he is pushing on a lap. Used a little bit of that curve there coming out of turn 3. I'm not sure if that really hurt him, as he's just rounding down the hill to turn 4 and then to the sector, finishing up sector 2. I just saw something pop up that said DRS is enabled as these guys are putting times down. It's still raining. I don't think it's time for slicks yet. But usually they enable DRS when slicks are available to these drivers. Used all his DRS already with VDV doing a 109.971. So we're really only 6, 7, maybe 8 seconds off total lap pace. That is Tyronimo in the Red Bull, who doesn't improve to 113.461. His best was a 113.376. Not enough time to really charge the battery around here to really put in another lap. But we still got guys still completing with 1.5 minutes left to go. Keeping the foot in the throttle a little bit there for Dex in the Mercedes. Can he improve? He certainly does. He puts it fastest with a 109.536 with 1 minute left in qualifying. Of course, we'll have a little bit of time left for anybody that's still out there. Looks like some of these drivers are just trying to recoup their ERS. Nope, we've got VDV pushing in that Alpine. He's got some traffic ahead. His teammate needs to get out of the way. Certainly does well with that as we're on board with VDV now here. This is going to be the last time he can cross the line. He's not going to be able to get around again. The track is drying out. We still see some of the raindrops falling. These guys have a little more traction. Didn't quite hit the apex there of turn 9 as he rounds down through turn 10 over the inside curve, trying to put on the gas and not hit the outside turf too much. Does he improve? Yes, he does with a 109.336. That's going to put him top spot. We still got plenty of drivers out there as his teammate CPI 0 is about to start his final lap. Michael, we know, has pace. He's starting his final run here as we just had somebody else come out of the pits. I'll tell you who that is in just a second. Nope, I think that is VDV getting out of the way. Still have a couple other drivers. We're going to keep it on Michael right now as this track is evolving. He is actually on slick compound tires. I'm not sure if that's the best idea right now because you're not going to have the traction coming out of the turns, and pretty much it's all straight line speed anyway around here. So if you don't have wings running because you're expecting it to be a dry race, then coming out here with no traction, especially in the turns, you're just going to lose time as far as that's concerned. So VDB is still viable out there. With Dex has put in his final time, he will start with a 109.536. Will he drop down the order with CPI? Michael, MDJ, Jeff, Dico, Kratos, Sten, of course, all ready to set a time. VDB did just accidentally, I think he spun around and didn't quite get back in. Still waiting to see if we can get Young Lights in this. He had to reset his controller, I believe. We're going to see if he did anything there. But Michael is putting in a pretty good time here on the softs. I think waiting for the last, he's going to do it. That's a 106.980. That's going to 2.5 seconds ahead of everybody else at the moment. Who else is out there? Anybody else? Yes, we do have MDJ. He's going to put in a phenomenal time here. He was 3 seconds up on his best time as he was rounding turn 10 there, I do believe. So he's going to put in a 106.982 to put himself second. So all those drivers, Michael then tops it on the soft, no, Kratos, I'm sorry, tops everybody on the soft compound tires right at the death. Still a couple minutes left if anybody out there is still running. Yeah, that was somebody that just moved up. I believe it was either Sten or Jeff that just moved up really quickly. think that was Jeff that moved up to 5th place. And I think that's going to do it for everyone. Anyone else is done with qualifying. That's going to do it. So, yeah, quite fun there at the end. As VDB, sucks that he got disqualified because that takes you all the way down to the back. So unfortunate for that. You know, you turn around and you try to back out and not come out in anybody's traffic, so you stop, and then the game disqualifies you. That's definitely a bug in this game that EA and Codemasters should address, because that's very unfair for Dax and that Mercedes to have to start 14th in the sprint race, work his way up to try to get a better position in for the feature race. So very unfortunate with that. But yeah, that's going to do it for qualifying. Diaz starts 9th as we were riding on board with him just to make sure he wasn't the one that could be the last one there. But yeah, very, very close there at the end. And we're hoping Young Lights either stayed in or can get in. As you see, those 5 soft tire compound runners at the end, only separated by 3.5 tenths at the most. Anybody that was on the intermediates definitely suffered, because they couldn't, have the tires to do what they wanted to do. But yeah, the sprint race is about to get underway. And yeah, this is going to be very, very interesting. We'll see what the weather's like. I didn't get a weather report for what the track was going to be like during the race. But I'm expecting a pretty good sprint race, and everybody's going to be pushing to move up a little bit because they're either going to want to try to get a handful of points if they're at the back in this sprint race, and then give them a better shot at bigger points into the feature. So very, very interesting race we have here for Australia coming up. I haven't heard anything from Young Lights again, so not sure if he got something fixed and is able to get in, but he will start 13th if it did work. I didn't have to send him an invite again. If his car's still in, he'll probably be AI'd. We'll find that out in just a minute. But yeah, I will say, unfortunate for Dax, who was disqualified. They were AI, and the AI started doing something funny, I believe, and then it disqualified them. So they've got their work cut out for them in this race. Only 14 drivers to start the race. So yeah, we'll see where we go from here. Hopefully we do not have any issues. And formation lap is on. What I'm going to do is just take a quick picture of that board right there, who's in what place, in case we need to do a quick restart. I will take over and set the lobby, see if we can get anybody else in here, put them at the back at least, and we'll go on racing from there. Yeah, so round 10 here at Elite Aspect F1 Gold League. Still Season 1, of course. We are in round 10. Well, I can see those two Alpines. Maybe they can work together. The Alpines and the Aston Martins and the Williams are all stuck together there, qualifying one after right behind each other. So that'll be interesting how they work together, especially if they can stick together a little bit and keep up with the front of the pack in this sprint race, and see if they can utilize the DRS to their advantages. And maybe, if one of them gets out of DRS in front of the car in front, then they can start swapping places, especially around here with the 3 DRS zones. If you can keep up with the guy in front, you're always going to have a shot at overtaking into turn 3 and again into turn 4, especially down the hill in the turn 4. Different lines work through turn 4. So most of these drivers should be on the medium tires, I believe, to start this race. We got a couple drivers on the softs that are gambling. BDB, Dax, of course. And then, of course, Sten, DH7, is gambling as well. But Kratos first, Michael second, MDJ starting third in that Haas, Sten starting fourth in the McLaren. Then we've got Jeff, VDB, CPI, both in the Alpine, 6th and 7th. The 2 Aston Martins, Bomber, DS starting 8th and 9th. The 2 Williams, CompuWare and Deco starting 10th, 11th. Tyranimo in the Red Bull starting 12th with his teammate on pole. Young Light starting 13th. We'll see if he's actually in the race. A couple drivers will be disqualified just because they didn't park properly. And then at the back for that unfortunate DSQ is VDB Dax, who in the Mercedes will start 14th behind the other drivers. Should be getting ready to go here in just a moment. Why does it say lap 2? Okay, there it goes. Counter's back. All right. Why am I way back here? I don't like this start. 5 red lights, and away we go with the start. Very good getaway from Sten there. He's moving up the inside. We did have some contact in the back. I think that was an Aston Martin and a Williams who got in a little bit of a tango there. Not sure what happened. We can see that on the replay a little bit later. Top 4 stayed where they were. Kratos now leading the pack up the hill into turn 3. Everybody stick nice together. A little bit outside maneuver there from the 2 Mercedes are stuck side by side. DX already moved up to 8th spot. CPI 0 back to 9th. Geronimo and Young Lights battling a little bit. No, Young Lights is ghosted. So that's unfortunate for him. He did not get in the race, did not get his issues resolved. 2 Mercedes tangoing a little bit. The Alpine had to pull out. That would be CPI 0 had to pull out of that as the Bomber closed the door on him. CPI 0, Deco, kind of the worst for wear there. CompuWare, of course, all the way to the back. Diask as well. Going to have to change that wing. Can maybe now utilize a set of soft tires. No safety car yet, as we know of. Top 3 drivers remain the same from the start. Sten, though, got a good getaway, just couldn't make it happen into turn 1. Of course, no rain on the forecast. Looks like we have clear skies at the moment. And, of course, doing 109s to start this race out. CompuWare into the pits. I think Diask will be pulling into the pits as well. No, maybe it was just CompuWare that took the damage. And Diask is doing just fine out there, did not lose anything. So CompuWare does have to change his wing, as I believe we see Dax in the Mercedes going around the teammate there up into turn 3 now. Top 3 drivers remain the same. So up from 14th. Pretty good qualifying run, was kind of in the middle of the pack. Ended up getting unfortunate out of that qualifying, had to start from the back. But now all the way up to 6th place. All the drivers that were together now, we do have the 2 Mercedes together, but all the drivers and teammates that were one in front of the other have now separated quite a bit. And again, unfortunate for Young Lights that he was not able to fix his issues and get in this race. We do miss when he's not here with us. But Kratos does lead us away here from Michael, from MDJ. My timing lines are a little bit messed up. I don't know why it's saying that, but it says the best strategy right now is obviously a sprint race, so you don't need to do anything. As it looks like Michael might be trying to do something here. DRS should be enabled. Thought he had a little bit of an exit. Look at the heat coming off of the back of that car, back of that Red Bull. That's a good graphic function here. So DRS should be enabled now. As soon as he crosses the line going up into turn 3, he'll be having it for the first time into turn 4. Might not even want it as he looks to the outside here. Might be able to do a little switchback maneuver. Stays to the outside, though. Lost a little bit of grip, I guess. So once that DRS opens, he's going to have the run. MDJ is going to have a run on him. All of them are going to have DRS on each other. So we're just going to keep an eye on all these drivers. Give me a good camera angle, please, F1. EA, watch out with that. Nobody making that pass as they all had DRS. The top, wow, and even VDB Dax has moved up into this pack. The top 6 drivers, all only separated by a few tenths between them. This is definitely going to be an interesting race as we progress with the DRS zones that are going to happen. Kratos' responsibility right now, keep his tires in a good working order. As Dax gets past VDB Ali, I'm sorry I missed that. How fast is that car out there? It is absolutely flying. I mean, yeah, it was middle of the pack in qualifying, but whatever setup they're using right now around this track, that car is absolutely flying. On those soft compound tires, did take a gamble and put on the soft compound tires, so getting a lot better grip coming out of here. If they can stay in that slipstream a little bit longer, obviously, wow, Kratos. And then Michael gets past Kratos, of course, on the left side going up into turn 3 here. We knew that was going to happen with DRS getting enabled. MDJ not able to make a move either on him. As you see, the Bomber taking on CPI 0 just a little bit behind. But because we've got these 3, 4, 5 drivers at the front all battling, we can't take our eyes off of them. We're going to just try to stick right in the middle on MDJ 2002 here so we can see everything that's happening. But yeah, VDB in that Mercedes, Dax in that Mercedes is absolutely flying around there on those soft compound tires. Will they hold up, though, especially once we get to lap 9, 10, without a pit stop? Will they be able to hold up and continue to work as well around here? Obviously, the end of the second sector, into that little region of turn 6, 7, 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's going to be the best place, as we see MDJ probably got a warning for that, going a little bit offline unless they slowed down. So, yeah, DRS is enabled. Michael just set the fast lap of the 105.811, and that gap has moved out a little bit, but what's going to happen now is that gaps are going to close up with DRS down the main straight, DRS between turns 3 and 4, and then, of course, between turns 1 and 3, and then, of course, DRS between turns 3 and 4 again. Those gaps are definitely going to close, but Michael looks like he's got got pretty good pace out there. We'll see that DRS open again and see if these drivers can close those gaps. I don't think I'm going to see any moves there. You really want to be within 4/10 so you can try to make that overtake cleanly and get past them before actually getting into the turns and on the brakes. So as we see VDV and Sten in the background, they're going at it. Good move there from VDV going down the inside. I think Sten might have got a little squirrely there and lost a little bit of traction, so unfortunate to see that. But all these drivers doing very, very well. CompuWare making up a little bit of ground, it looks like, trying to get back up to the pack if they can catch up with Geronimo and Diaz and Deco. I will call that a pretty good race there from them, especially starting from where they did at the beginning of the start, losing out and having to come in and change a wing. So, yeah, about 30 seconds back. See if they can make that up in a nice clean air. After that pit stop is what they're going to lose, especially if you don't have a wing going around the track at least once on lap 1. Yeah, no, down to the inside. MDJ did think about it there on Kratos and thought better of it. Those soft tires of Dex able to be later on the brakes, had to kind of do a small evasive maneuver. I don't think there was any real danger risk of making contact, but MDJ, again, let's ride on board. Down to the inside of turn 4, had to go a little bit forward, and then going to get the switchback maneuver from Kratos as VDB is looking at these two and saying, I want to take a chance of that. You guys just keep going at it. Jeff and the Bomber, that's another battle that's really going on back there. Geronimo gets past Diaz at the back, coming down into turn 4 with DRS. VDB Dex still flying out there on those soft compound tires, but yes, will they hold on? Michael has broken the slipstream DRS with 1.5 seconds ahead of Kratos now. Again, only 12 laps in this sprint race, then we're going to get into 36 lap. VDB is DNF'd. I'm not sure what just happened. Let's see if I can catch where they went off. Looks like they went off around turn 9 and 10 as Deco's coming into the pits off the medium tires. Did they try to come into the pits and then weren't able to? What happened to VDB? I didn't see where they go, so that's going to be a full course caution safety car. I tell you what, Deco might have helped out here. Is everybody going to pit for the soft compound tires? VDB is booped up. Will they be able to pit and put on another set of soft tires? Is everybody going to come in for the soft tires, or do you keep track position and work on where you are? As everybody's going to have to go around. Go ahead and pass the safety car here, Geronimo. Nope, go ahead and pass it. It's got a green light. Nope, you need to pass it, Geronimo. Go ahead and get past it. There you go. All right, yeah. Everybody's going to have to back up to the safety car. I tell you who else this helps is CompuWare. If he wants to come into the pits and put on a new fresh set of softs to make it towards the end, or if he's been really saving them, that'll help. Sten just got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Everybody's got about a 70% that they need to be doing, so that's unfortunate. That's going to be a drive-through for them. But yeah, we're going to see what these drivers decide to do as that safety car has come out for VDV Ali. I did not see exactly what happens. This game group is closed. Let's see. Might be another way to do it. All right, so unfortunate for that. All right, doesn't look like anybody pit. Everybody stayed out there on those mediums, so it's about track position now for these guys at the moment. And looks like we're going to have one more lap, maybe. We still need CompuWare, who I think did pit They should have caught up by now, so I must have put on a nice fresh set of sauce. We can find out. Nope, only done one stop. Why have they only made up that amount of time? Yeah, so wait on CompuWare to get up to the pack. Should do it on this lap. That gap is closing. Or maybe they're having an issue, not quite sure. But I believe Michael pit. Michael was in the lead of this race and is now pit off the soft compound, off the mediums, and now on the soft compound tires. Every driver ahead of them has 8 lap old, will be 9 lap old at the restart of the safety car, which I do believe should be coming in this lap, as CompuWare is making his way around. Of course, he only had that 1 lap to do it, so that's why, because he had to be under the delta as well for the rest of the drivers. You can see all the way in the background there making his way. So, yeah, I think that's definitely going to work out for him. He'll be back on the pack with 1 less lap old softs than everybody else. But yeah, Michael on those fresh softs should be making a run here, as the safety car, of course, is in this lap. So we just make our way out of Sector 2. That's going to be Kratos backing the pack up. He is now the safety car. Everybody needs to follow him. Don't do anything crazy. Don't do anything stupid. Keep an eye on the cars in front of you. Make sure we don't make any contact with anybody. He gets to decide to go when he wants to go. But yeah, I mean, the timing line isn't that far away, and it doesn't take long for the safety car to get past it, as we are just making our way slowly but surely. Everybody weaving in the background, keeping those tires nice and warm. Coming around through turn 9. Has turned overtake on, but has now gone, of course, full throttle out of turn 10. And we are back underway racing here in Austria for the F1 sprint race for Elite Aspect F1 Gold League. This is the sprint race at Austria. So where they finish the race in this one is where they're going to start the next race for the feature race. But DRS has been disabled as of right now. So the MDH in that slipstream of Kratos. We want to keep an eye on Michael with those soft compound tires, and how fast will he be able to move up the ranks with those very, very fresh tires. VDB DX, of course, in that Mercedes, we did see move up quite a bit as Michael gets past Sten just in the background, as we were talking about those much fresher tires, moving out along the side, down into turn, gets down on the inside of Jeff in that other Mercedes. Yeah, these fresh soft compound tires are just going to work, as we see the bomber going around the inside into turn 7 and 8. Turn 6 and 7 on those medium tires. Maybe DXs have just dropped off, as it does look like they kind of have, as we've got Michael all in the gearbox of VDB DX in the Mercedes at the moment. Going to need to get past these cars fast, quickly, and clear them so they can Michael can make a run back up top, especially once DRS is enabled. Look how much grip that car has. Definitely going to be able to be later on the brakes. I don't think turn 1's the place to do it. I'll wait until turn 2 and 3. But yeah, if they want to get by fast and get by now, that's the way to go. So Michael does stick in the slipstream there, and of course after this race we've got some penalties being handed out. That's going to be for avoiding track limits. MDJ looks like he's overtaking Kratos here down on the inside. A little bit of wheel rubbing. That's going to allow the bomber also to maybe make a move there, or at least let Michael up in his way. VDB has dropped down to 5th. Michael on those fresh softs is just going to be rapid around here. Kratos and MDJ, as you can see, fighting just in front, and DX, of course, trying to get all the way on the back of them as well. Is Michael going to be able to do something as we get into the turn 6 and 7 arena just inside here? All the fans in the crowd over there cheering him on, of course, dropping down the inside of turn 7 and 8, trying to hold it around the outside of turn 8, of course, does get by, up into the podium position again, and now has got the other 2 drivers. We've got a 1-lap shootout here right at the death. I think DRS will be enabled for this lap. Down on the inside through turn 10. What a drive from Michael. Since DRS is enabled, he's only going to get 1 shot at it. He's going to have to hold the inside line here. Oh, wow. Over this curve there, almost missed it. Oh, and he does get DRS here. So he's going to have to close this gap really, really quickly on MDJ, who also has had a phenomenal race. A little bit of wheel banging going on behind. I told you, everybody's going to be vying for as many points as they can and the spot of where they want to start in the feature race coming up. So, yeah, everybody's fighting till the end. I don't think anybody's really hurt anybody. Don't really see anything. Kratos, very sad for him. He was dropped all the way back. CPI 0-2, who did. Actually, that's Michael getting by the Haas down into turn 4 on the final lap of this sprint sprint race, that soft compound tire pitting under the safety car was the right idea to do, as we do see CPI 0 also. Will they be able to make an overtake here to get on the podium for the sprint race? Of course, it's just a couple points here awarded out for the sprint race, but those soft compound tires, are they going to be able to hold it? Deco up to 7th place, past his teammate Compy, where Kratos kind of lost out the most here as he led us away under the safety car restart. Kind of lost out a little bit, but Michael does have a penalty, so I think it's going to be MDJ taking top spot here. Yep, MDJ is going to take first, VDB DX second. So what a run from them on the soft compound tires. Starting at the back and moving up to second. MDJ is going to start the race in first. CPI 0 is going to start in third, with Dayak sitting right in between them. So what a pretty fun sprint race we just had. Driver of the day, of course, we'll go to Dayak, of course. And I'm going to see if I can start inviting people once we get back into the start screen here. Yeah, there we go. MDJ with the win, taking 8 points. VDB taking 7 points in second. CPI 0 third. Michael fourth after the penalty. Bomber fifth. That was a good drive from them, of course. Kratos starting sixth, finishing sixth. Deco seventh, and Copyware with that final point in eighth. Congratulations to the two Williams drivers finishing in the points and moving up a couple spots. Alpine VDB had a great qualifying run. Just unfortunate what happened in the race, but yeah, VDB DX, what a fantastic run from them. There's the starting grid, of course, where everybody started versus where they finished. So I'd have to say those drivers 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th starting a little bit further back, moving up some places. The Bomber moving up quite a few places as well. And then, of course, VDB DX moving up that many places to finish second is quite impressive. Did a little gamble on those soft compound tires, so it definitely paid off in the end. All right, now, let's see. Yep, still says I cannot invite because the game group is closed. All right, for Mission Lab again. Looks like we might have some rain forecast in the area here in just a bit. We've got everybody starting on the soft compound tires, it looks like. Just because if there is rain on the way, you want to make sure you can be fastest off the start. We've got a couple drivers on the mediums, one driver on the hards, all the front runners starting on the softs. So should be an interesting race once we get going here. Formation lap. So two drivers were disqualified from the formation lap because they probably touched each other. But that's okay. They'll just have colder tires to get on the start. Maybe Diaz stayed in. I'm not quite sure what happened there. But yeah, I think there's a little bit of internet issues going on. We've been having that problem lately a lot with this game. And I don't think I can blame anybody's actual internet. I think it has a little bit more to do with Codemasters and EA servers being the problem more than anything else. So don't beat yourself up, guys, if your internet's in the lobbies aren't working for you on this game. I think it's not 100% your fault. It probably has something to do with them as well. So, after the sprint race, to start this race, MDJ taking pole position, of course. VDB DX with that great run in the sprint race up to second now. CPI 0 starting third. Michael starting fourth after his qualifying run in pre-qualifying for the sprint race. The Bomber will be fifth. Kratos starting sixth. Deco and Compuware, those two Williams, 7th and 8th. Tyranimo will be 9th. Young Lights will be 10th if he's in the car. Diaz starting 11th. Hopefully he's back in the car. Sten and Jeff will be 12th and 13th, starting on very, very cold tires. And then VDB Ali will be starting 14th with that unfortunate event in the real race, who did bring out the safety car. So we are going to be back underway here in just a moment. All the cars are back lined up. I don't know why it's putting me in this camera angle to start the race. I can't see anything. There we go. We've got some lights now. 5 red lights, and away we do go. I can't see anything from the start because they don't let me, but look at that. There we go. MDJ under pressure already. VDB getting away very, very well, but lost out with the door being closed by MDJ into turn 1. I didn't see anything wrong with that. Michael getting past the bomber. Those two still guys going battling with CPI 0 just looking in the background right now, but is under pressure from the two drivers behind. MDJ carries it into turn 3, still in first place. We've got a little bit of jostling back and forth, but I don't know if anybody's really made an overtake. They could just be side by side going into a couple turns, trying to make their way through these slipstreams. Oh, we've got a Mercedes of Jeff in the back who was spinning around, hit the back rear section. I'm not sure if anything came off there. So will we have a safety car? There you see our predicted race stop strategy, softs to mediums for this race. They're saying your softs can go 15 to 17 laps. Well, we saw some drivers take them 12 laps at least in the sprint race, as we do still have MDJ in first place from Dex, from CPI 0, from Michael, from Bomber, from Kratos. CompuWare getting past Sten and Deco a little bit back up there. Sten has moved up 4 places. VDV Ali has moved up 4 places. I think Diask and Younglights might still be ghosted out. I can go check on them in just a minute, but we've got some action up here at the top. We did see Jeff had a little bit of an issue where he's not too far back, so I didn't see him coming to the pits either, so I think it was just a little spin, maybe tagged a wheel, maybe tagged the inside of someone's side pod. Didn't take any damage, it doesn't look like, as VDV looks like they want to go around the outside of turn up the hill into turn 3 here. Very well done with that. MDJ is going to have to concede that position. Now jump the slipstream. Making those tires really, really work here at the beginning. That setup that they've got working is definitely fast around here. I will say that for VDB Dex, that's for sure. Sten moving up a place. Nope, CompuWare and Sten just battling it out back there. But we got too close to call up here at the front. We can go check on them and just see how close they are. I think that's separation and tire performance there. One on the softs, one on the mediums, being able to do that kind of stuff. VDB Dex is running away at the moment. I can't really see the intervals, but definitely put a small gap as we see the Alpine of CPI 0 getting a little squirrely. That's going to allow Michael to maybe get a better run out of turn 10 up into turn 1. No DRS, but it will be enabled now as we start lap 3 of 36 for the feature race here. F1 Elite Aspect, F1 Gold League. We did have a sprint, but look at this. DRS open, still DRS in front of the driver. Everybody's got DRS, it looks like. I can't tell if MDJ does. It certainly does. That gap is closing rapidly, but everybody with DRS not being able to make a move here. But that Ferrari that Michael is in is pretty quick, and we've seen that around here. Is MDJ going to be able to do that? I think there's a little bit too far back, and then with DRS in front of you, there's not really much you can do at the moment. CompuWare up into 7th, Sten up into 8th, the PDB up into 9th. They're all in the points now. Top 10 get points in this race, but we're going to keep it up here with the leaders at the moment. Because that is a good battle that we are watching. Especially expect CPI and 0 and Michael in the Ferrari to be battling here in just a moment. Again, all top 5 drivers, I believe, started on the soft compound tires. Soft to medium was the name of the game. However, if you want to try and undercut and have a little bit better tire at the end of the race, you can go soft to hards. I believe we'll see somebody try that strategy, pit a little bit early, get off the softs, see if they can do a little quick undercut maybe, and put on the mediums. We have some time warnings being handed out there. No worries about that though. We're definitely going to see that, especially around here, just because that's how this place does it. We saw it in the real F1 race, and we'll see it here for Elite Aspect F1 Gold, round 10 of Season 1. As we're just sticking with CPI 0 because he's right in the middle of this fight between the top 5 who all have DRS. Everybody's in the DRS zone all the way back from 1st to 8th at the moment. VDV Ali up a few spots in the 9th, but still has some catching up to do if he wants to get into the battle to maybe make up some more turns. Tyranimo losing out to Jeff, who I think had that issue at the beginning. Diask all the way back to 14th. Not sure what happened to them. Needs to get past Younglights and try to get back on the back of this pack, as we do see Michael so close to CPI 0. We're talking, 1/10 of a second. Look how close that battle is between them. But is not going to get a good run. I think this might actually open the door for the Bomber in the Aston Martin behind him. I want to call him a torpedo in reference to Daniel Kvyat. That's what Sebastian Vettel called him. As his name is the Bomber. I'm not trying to call him out for doing something wrong in F1, but I always thought that was a pretty funny nickname that Sebastian Vettel gave Daniel Kvyat for calling him the torpedo. But yeah, I believe Michael trying to get past CPI 0, it's kind of hurt his race with the bomber behind him in that Aston Martin. It's really allowing him to close that gap. As we see, Jeff has had another issue. It looks like maybe he's just coming out of the pits. I'm not quite sure. Maybe he did take a pit stop. That's definitely possible, as he is back in the back of the pack in 14th at the moment. But we do have a great race on our hands right now. All 6 of these drivers, it looks like, from VDB DX to Kratos. VDB does lead us away from MDJ, from CPI 0, from Michael, from Bomber, from Kratos. All 6 of those drivers in a straight line here, all stuck in the DRS. VDB DX is doing a great job, especially in the end of Sector 2 and the Sector 3, of course, before the finish line, to keep these drivers at bay and keep them, more than half a second behind, and not allow that DRS zone to really close them up, as it looks like they are pulling away a little bit. CPI 0 losing out a little bit to MDJ, as well as Michael is just chomping at the bit in that gearbox of the Alpine. But every time he opens his DRS, he sees the one in front of him open as well, and it's just kind of saying, hey, I'm trying to get past, as it looks like Jeff has DNF from this race. I still see the car moving. There it has pulled over at the start of Sector 3. Hopefully they can get that car out of the way, maybe just pull it over and stop. We will be approaching it shortly. I think the yellow has stopped. We will not need a safety car for that, but if you are seeing what I am seeing as we're riding on board with CPI 0's front wing here, there are raindrops falling. And what we want to be interested in is when it says DRS has been disabled. That's when the game kind of tells you it's time for intermediate tires. That has not happened yet. We still have DRS, and this is probably one of Michael's best shots to get by CPI 0 here for a podium spot on the rostrum, as they are so close to him. Oh, losing a little bit of the rear end with CPI 0 coming off that curb. Now they're going to be side by side. Of course, both of them have DRS open at the moment. Who's going to be able to get in the slipstream of MDJ ahead of them a little bit better? No, he's going to have to take the long way around or do a switchback maneuver. Can he cut inside now? Going to get DRS again. Everybody's got it, though. Just not able to wiggle past that Alpine. What fantastic driving from both of these drivers. Kudos to CPI 0, defending very, very well, as a matter of fact. Just frustrating the Ferrari of Michael, who we know has pace, but so does CPI 0. I'm not taking anything away from him, as we know he's got great pace as well. But these two drivers pretty much evenly matched at the moment. A little bit different lines they're taking here, but the rain is starting to fall, and we are seeing some of these drivers, especially on the curbs, we're seeing these rear ends starting to slip out just a little bit. Who's going to take the gamble and pit first on the intermediates? You may lose time, but it means that you're going to have the intermediates in a time, and somebody's going to be on soft tires and going to be losing time now. So it is a kind of it's a strange gamble of when you want to do it. It's you kind of want to do what everybody in front of you is doing, or do the opposite. So I expect we'll see somebody at this point coming to the pit. So Deco24 is now pitting, might be putting on the intermediates. Of course, we haven't seen DRS disabled yet. So as we see, DRS is going to be open here again. Yeah, we're just riding on board with Michael in the Ferrari because we're not seeing much else happening up there, as MDJ is not really closing that gap too much. And with both of these drivers in DRS zone, it's very, very hard. Kratos chopped at the bit as well behind the Aston Martin, trying to move up a spot into double-digit points finish, getting to the top 10. Only 8 of 36 laps done so far around Austria here for the feature race, as Michael really, really looking, especially in the middle sector. I think he's got a little bit more downforce, and that's really, really hurting him in the straights, though. But in the second sector and into the third sector, it's really helping him, especially around that middle part of the track. When you get into out of turn 4 and before turn 9, that little compound right there, the medium speed corners, is where that downforce really, really helps you. DRS still enabled, so as it is raining, it's not raining hard enough for the race control to decide no more DRS. And of course, when that happens, we will see everybody coming to the pits for the intermediates, as I believe Kratos down the inside. Is he going to get that job done? It does look like the Bomber's going to miss out. So those soft compound tires, lap 9 now, might be starting to wean just a little bit, as MDJ just got a penalty. That's very unfortunate. We'll see how those get handled out too. As we saw Michael, who won the race in the sprint race but had a 3-second penalty, dropped down to 4th, I believe, and had to start this race in 4th. So DRS is still enabled. We haven't seen that been disabled yet. We are seeing the soft compound tires looking like they're starting to suffer a little bit out there. So Kratos on those mediums might have taken it up a notch here. And if he can move around this track a little bit faster than the guys on the softs can now, as their tires wane before he comes in to put on a set of intermediates. Of course, this rain may just move away, and we might not have to see a set of intermediates yet. Do not know. We're going to see, though. We do have Deco on the intermediates, who actually might be suffering out there, just because this track is not quite wet enough. Now we got a good run, but out of the slipstream, that sheer wind just hits that Ferrari down to the inside. Is this move actually going to happen this time? I think it might, as he can bully that Alpine out a little bit coming out, but no, I think CPI 0 got the better traction coming out of turn 3, and I have to take the outside line going down into turn 4, as you see both of them side by side braking at about the same point. Who's going to have the better traction out of this one? Oh, a little bit sideways there. Yeah, so the drier line is definitely on the outside, so it kind of hurt Michael there because no cars have been in the middle of the track right there as they're trying to exit turn 4 now. But now on the inside line going into turn 6 and 7, they're still side by side. Saw maybe a little bit of contact there, but I don't see anything wrong with what these two drivers and the show that they're putting on for us right now. But if you don't want to fight with the guys that you're racing against at the moment, you can come into the pits and put on a set of intermediates. It may pay off, it may not, as DRS is still open. No, I think Michael is now going to have DRS, and CPI 0 is not, as they come and crest the hill up into turn 1, I'm sorry, as they down the hill and back up the hill into turn 3. CPI 0 is not going to have DRS, and that's definitely going to put him at risk from Michael and Kratos behind him, as we see VW up to 8th now, getting past Sten, and now we have a virtual safety car. I'm not sure what happened. I don't see anything out on track. We have a virtual safety car. That kind of puts a damper on things. I think Michael's not going to be happy about that because he thought that he had a real chance to get past CPI 0 here. But these two drivers burning the crap out of their tires. You can see it's allowed Kratos to move up quite a bit here, especially on those harder compounds on the medium tires. Yeah, now we're on lap 11 of 36 with a virtual safety car. Everybody's got to drive to 70% of race pace. And if he wants to come into the pits, when he gets over the line, he can do that. Michael can do that. Nobody's going to say he can't do that, as long as he can slow this down quick enough and not get a speeding penalty. I believe he did. But he's going to put on the intermediates. This is the time to do it. Virtual safety car still out there. That might not have been a bad move from Michael. What he just did was absolutely fine. He can pass those cars as he goes into the pit lane. As long as he's not ahead of them at a certain time and doesn't, speed up too much under the virtual safety car. So definitely legal to do what he just did. It looks like Sten might have also come into the pits. Or Young Lights might be. Looks like there's a Red Bull back there as well. So Geronimo into the pits as well, putting on a set of mediums. Sten coming out on a set of softs. It is raining. And Michael put on a set of mediums. Deco's the only one that went with a set of intermediates. And we are back underway. But if this works and all the other drivers come in and pit, Michael will have undercut them. That's going to be for sure, especially doing it on the virtual safety car. I'm surprised we didn't see any other drivers do that under the virtual safety car. MDJ now closed that gap to about 3/10. So coming out of turn 2, down into turn 4, of course, he's going to have a really good run and an opportunity here, just perhaps because, if that gap was less than 3/10, it was, but now it is not, as everybody's going to have pretty much full ERS to be able to burn that battery as much as they want after the virtual safety car. Just take that deployment and let's get it charged back up. Yeah, all these drivers still driving around. It's been raining for, I'd say, about 6-7 laps now, and none of these drivers, except for Deco, put on the intermediates. I'm trying to watch that time between Deco and Tyronimo, because Tyronimo put on a set of fresh mediums, I believe, or a fresh set of softs, and Sten put on the softs maybe. But they put on fresh tires. Michael put on fresh tires. Deco put on a set of intermediates. But at the same time, DRS is still enabled around here. So race control is not saying that it is time for a set of intermediates. And I don't know how these drivers feel out there. That track, maybe the track is just completely warm, and that's why. But DRS is still enabled, so these drivers are going to keep going around and around, and we'll see what MDJ can do here. Use that overtake. Use it as much as possible. Everything you got with that DRS open. I'll say fantastic job from VDB Dex this weekend. Had an issue in qualifying, started from the back, moved up to second, started this race in second in the sprint race, from the sprint race, and has taken control of this race and had control, maintained control since the start. So very well raced, good job from them. Definitely got to applaud them as far as everything up until now, and doing a great job at holding these drivers behind, especially with everybody with DRS behind. CPI Zero have shown great pace, especially going side by side with Michael, both of them with DRS. It looks like that Alpine just has a little bit of an edge as far as less drag and a little bit faster in a straight line. But the rain is still coming down, and this track is continuing to get wetter and wetter and wetter, but very slowly. As I say that, yeah, it's getting wetter and wetter, but it's not getting wetter and wetter rapidly. It's getting wetter and wetter very, very slowly, as Deco has retired from the session. That was somewhere, maybe they came into the pits to do that. Possibly, I don't think they did, though. That looks like a Red Bull. That is MDJ coming into the pits. We're going to stick with MDJ here in the Haas and see what their reaction is. Is it time for intermediates? See, I don't know what race control is saying. I don't know what these guys are being told. He is putting on a set of intermediates, so that's going to be very, very interesting. If the rain is going to continue to come down, as we're on lap 15 of 36 here, there was just a caution. Thought maybe he could get a jump on somebody with a safety car or a virtual safety car. Didn't work out that way, as Michael has put on a set of regular tires. MDJ put on a set of intermediates. Is it time for everybody to put on a set of intermediates? MDJ did have a 3-second penalty. You can't serve that in the pit lane. We're just going to jump through all these cars. Medium, 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 soft, soft. And it looks like these drivers are starting to slow down a little bit out there. It's starting to wear, especially the soft runners. As we see, Kratos has definitely moved up a few spots, but it is getting pretty wet out there, and I think these drivers are going to have to come into the pits and put on some tires with grooves in them and start pushing this water away, as we see Kratos, CPI, Bomber, Michael staying out there, probably for one more lap, see if he can overcut them and be a little bit faster on warm mediums. CompuWare stayed out. VDV is coming into the pits for a set of intermediates. MDJ is going to pass all these drivers who just pit, and then is going to try to undercut some of the other drivers who haven't pit yet. So very, very interesting strategies that we have going on, as we see MDJ, CPI Zero, Kratos, and Bomber all coming out of the pits. MDJ maintaining fourth place at the moment on the intermediates. Michael up to second. So did they undercut? No, he's going to have to pit again, but what he's going to try to do is overcut the drivers behind. VDV really, really slow out there on the hard compound tires. How is Michael faring on a fresher set of mediums? Doesn't seem to be doing bad. I think he's closing that gap to Diggs, of course. But if he's faster this lap than the other drivers are behind on the intermediates, could work out for him. Definitely could. And CompuWare, of course, will probably come in this lap. But MDJ, I think, has taken the lead of this race as of right now. Go ahead and coming in and pitting for those intermediates a lap earlier. As we do see, that is Dex into the pits. Michael really closed that gap a little bit there and stays out. But I don't think he's going to be... I think when Michael, unless the rain's going to stop soon, we'll see. Not quite sure. But anyways, on board with MDJ in the Haas. Coming through turn 1, starting lap 17 of 36 here for Elite Aspect F1 Gold, round 10 here in Season 1 at the Austria Grand Prix. Of course, we did have qualifying, short qualifying, one round, 18 minutes, and then we had the sprint races at the grid. MDJ should be the leader of this race at the moment. CPI Zero behind him. He's made up a little bit of a gap, so a little bit of an undercut there, as that gap has grown to 2 seconds. almost. Kratos, and then when we have the Bomber, who I think is still on a set of slicks. No, the Bomber's on a set of intermediates, and BDB. So all those drivers that pit a lap earlier to MDJ, who pit 2 laps earlier than the others. Sten has now retired. Looks like in the pit lane, so I think we're going to be okay. And we also have a Mercedes having an issue. That's VDB Dex, who has now also retired from this session. That actually might cause a safety car. That is in a bad spot. Car's been removed, it looks like. So we have a full course caution just because we had 2 yellow flags at the same time. We also have an Aston Martin into the pits. It does say somebody got a penalty for speeding under the safety car. But I don't... The safety car is out, but my screen does not say safety car. Just so everyone knows that. I'm not aware that there was a safety car. This happened to me last week, a couple weeks ago. I was racing an F2 race, and a virtual safety car came out, and it didn't say anything for me. It just said caution. And I passed a bunch of drivers, and then gave that position back. Now it's saying safety car for me. Okay. So they didn't have to get behind the safety car just yet. They're waiting to pick up the safety car. Okay. This is what it is, just a little bit of a delayed reaction there. I think we're only down to 10 drivers now. Here, halfway through the Australian Grand Prix. It did get a little bit wet. Yeah, Michael's going to have to pit still, I believe, as he's on a set of medium tires. He's trying to get around as fast as possible. It looks like he's going to have to come out in 5th place. Or maybe if the rain, he knows the rain's going to go away, then he'll stay out if he thinks he can manage. The drivers with the intermediate tires, that gap's going to close, especially behind the safety car. And then if the rain's going to subside and the track's going to dry out, might have made the right decision here. Has to really slow down, get in his delta. And we're just seeing Geronimo is now pit, Diaz stays out. They're all on the intermediate tires. As Michael's coming out of the pits on a set of intermediates now. And DJ is on intermediate. So yeah, it was Michael that we were worried about. And come out in 3rd place. So it did kind of work out, I guess. I think he jumped CPI 0 in that whole crazy going from wet to not wet race. But why is... Alright guys, you see this? I see MDJ, Kratos, Michael. But Michael is behind the safety car. But it says Kratos is first, and MDJ's first, and Kratos is second. Anybody else seeing this? Anybody else seeing this? Am I going crazy? Am I crazy? Alright, well, if you're watching on YouTube, please leave a comment. Tell me what you're seeing. If you're in the race. There it goes. There it goes. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense, does it? Alright, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to walk away for a minute and let this play out. Because what I'm seeing is Michael is behind the safety car in 3rd place. Why is MDJ and Kratos up there? And what am I missing here? Anybody watching on YouTube, let me know what's going on. What do y'all what do you think's happening? So if anybody's still out there watching, y'all see what I'm seeing, right? MDJ and Kratos are sitting first, second. Michael is in 3rd, but Michael is in fact behind the safety car. And what I'm thinking is that safety car is going to keep going around and around. Because unless it's going to wait for Michael and CPI to... Yeah, now everything's changing. Timing lines are changing. Now Michael's in first, CPI's in second behind him. And it's showing Kratos and MDJ in 8th and 9th. Maybe that's where they're supposed to be. I don't think so, though. Yeah, now it puts MDJ and Kratos back in first and second. So, I think the safety car is going to keep going around and around and around. And if anybody asks me, I would take that picture right there and award half points. That's my opinion, if this keeps happening. Because I wonder what it says from Kratos' perspective. I mean, what it says from Michael's perspective. Does it say Michael's in first behind the safety car? Because if it says he's in third and he's behind the safety car, he should also know that something is weird. Unless I'm the one that got kicked out of the lobby somehow. But I'm still broadcasting on YouTube. So I don't know what's going on. It didn't say I left, did it? Anybody on YouTube watching the race, can they tell me what's going on here? Anybody running behind the safety car? It says safety car in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Because it just picked up Michael CPI 0 with MDJ and Kratos in 8th and 9th. And everybody else has picked up the packs but them. Because they can't. Because they'll be speeding if they do. Michael's 6 seconds ahead of CPI 0. Getting the race restarted. I don't know what to do, guys. Kratos and MDJ are still battling, though. That's pretty cool. Watching them, but they're not. They shouldn't be in 8th and 9th. MDJ should be in the lead of this race. Michael should be in 3rd. And I don't know what to do. Because they lost a lap somewhere. I apologize, I'm just a little baffled about what's happened here. But we'll see how the race progresses. Right now it's telling us about to start lap 23 of 36 here in a little rain-soaked Austria. But CPI, how was he that much faster than Michael there? And it looked like he went right through him. Is everybody ghosted? Did I get kicked out? Because he definitely caught up to him really, really fast. And is now just flying away, and Michael's not slow. I really think this is a glitch lobby. Or maybe it's just glitched on my end. Because now it's saying... Michael is just slow. He's not ghosted though on my screen. I don't know what to do, guys. I apologize. Because I don't know what's happened. Because I know Michael's not going that slow. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm speechless because I don't know what's happening. The fact that Diask is AI and catching up to Tyranimo that quickly. I know Diask isn't in the lobby. Michael losing that much time to CPI 0 and Ali, that's not right. And now, it just put MDJ and Kratos back in first. On lap 25. But it's saying CPI is 0.1 behind Kratos. And those cars are separated by half a lap. I'm going to give it one more lap to see if it sorts itself out. But nope, there's CPI and VDV to go into first place now. And then the copyware goes up in the third. Because MDJ and Kratos are first and second. Now copyware's third. So that would put CPI in VD, but they wouldn't be that far behind. We just finished a safety car. And all these cars should have been bunched up behind each other. And I'll be like MDJ, Kratos, Michael, CPI 0, VDV, Ali, all five of them should be fighting it out right now. So I apologize for the commentary not being, and the race not being what it should be. But I think we're just going to have to, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Well, I'm just going to let this run, and then, because now it says Bomber's in the lead. Alright, well, I don't know how to commentate this, so I'm just going to let it run, let it broadcast, so you guys can see what's happening as well. Then I'll post it for a replay so everybody can watch and see what happened to mine, and then we can compare it with what you guys did in your races, because obviously where you are, see how MDJ just went ghost? And now Michael's in the lead, and it's so weird. It's so weird. So yeah. But then where does the safety car? I mean, this might actually sort it out under this safety car. Should put Michael in third, I would think, but no, it looks like he left the session because he was getting passed by everybody. So I don't know. I'm going to just walk away and leave this one run for a little bit, and then we'll try to figure it out at the end. Okay, guys? Sorry about that. Alright, it says we're back under racing, but of course Michael is going very, very slow and being ghosted through. He should be in this race. I didn't see anybody leave. So that puts CPI 0 up in front, VDVLE in third now. He'll definitely get past unless he's ghosting out too. MDJ in fourth, Kratos in fifth. We've only got 9 drivers left. Of course, Diask and Young Lights are both. Looks like CompuWare was ghosted as well there for a second. It says Diask's in 8th and Young Lights is in 9th, but they're switched. That's interesting. Oh, there we go. No. Young Lights is a lap down, apparently. But they're both ghosted, so won't see anything there. Yeah, something definitely isn't right here, so I'm just going to leave it. Yeah, I don't know how to commentate this because I don't know who's actually where. Okay. Says we're on lap 34 or 36. CPI 0 is leading, VDVLE in second, but honestly I don't know really what's going on because Michael just got a time penalty, but I don't think he's driving. He wouldn't be losing that much time to the drivers ahead. And then MDJ, and then it just switched everybody again. So yeah, something's definitely going on in this race. Sorry about this, guys. There's no way CPI is 0.5 seconds behind the bomber. And then as far as Michael falling back, you would think that MDJ and Kratos would just be all over him. Kratos not getting past MDJ as slow as they're both going. nobody's making up time. I think everybody's racing in a lobby by themselves at the moment, guys. So I do apologize for all this. Yeah, as you guys can see if you're watching, whoever's in first, it keeps changing. Like nothing's changing, and just every time the timing line comes across, the intervals are completely weird. And people are jumping up from third to first, back to 8th, and it's just... And the lap is, I mean, the race is over, because Michael won, which I would think he probably should have. It says everybody's finished now, and yeah, I have no idea, guys. I have no idea. I do apologize for that. It says VDV Ali is the driver of the day, and I'm gonna take a screenshot of these results, and we'll see what we do to sort everything out. I thought Michael had a fantastic run. He had a good strategy going. But when that first safety car came out, he was in third behind the safety car. MDJ should have been in first from that point. And then, yeah, everybody was just going slow. Like, Michael was getting passed by people ghosting through him on my screen and going like maybe running at 60 AI. So, yeah, really, really strange result here. We're just going to take a screenshot of that. Screenshot of that. Take a screenshot of that. See, can I see their full time? Yeah, there we go. You know, it doesn't show that, so yeah, we'll try to sort this out and let you know something when we go for next week. Thanks for watching.